What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Bud Crawford, BC's Errol Spence. I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. That notification icon for more videos like these. I'm going to do a little series where I read articles. And I'm going to make a playlist where you can go and read these articles. I'm going to do a few different boxes, not just Bud. Just read articles, I want to do more reading. Hopefully you guys like it. The article reads, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence was proof it's time to bury the wrong side of the street. This article was written by Mark Lelinwala. It was published August 4th, 2023, 6:38 p.m. Our writers believes one of the sport's most popular and most frustrating phrases should be retired for good. It's been about a week removed from Terence Crawford's domination of Errol Spence Jr. to become the new undisputed welterweight world champion, and the boxing world is still in awe of his absolutely brilliant performance. I know I am. From it, boxing critics and fans alike learned, if they didn't know before, that Terence Crawford is the pound-for-pound best boxer, and that's non-negotiable at this point in time. If the money and stakes are right, two boxers and earth promoters, regardless of their promotional banners they fight under, can make a bout. To take that a step further, I propose that we as boxing journalists, critics, and fans alike should hereby stop using the phrase wrong side of the street / other side of the street altogether. Let's eliminate it from our vocabulary permanently. I like that. I like that, guys. I like that. Great article. I'm liking this read. For those who aren't aware, wrong side of the street refers to the notion that a potential opponent for any given fighter is too out of reach for the contest to actually get made, no matter how many fans would love to see it. Two fighters being on the opposite side of the street is the most commonly caused by them. Is most commonly caused by them being under contract to rival promoters, causing a political hurdle very difficult to overcome for the sake of the audience. Fight negotiations often range from contentious to painstaking away, but the other side of the street, or the wrong side of the street phrase, is often deployed as a detrimental smokescreen to delay bouts from happening. Interesting. Wiping it, or at least the acceptance of it being a legitimate excuse from our working vocabularies, would make it that much harder from opposing promotional outfits and their boxers within it from using it, because we wouldn't feed into it at all. Just think about how many times the phrase was used to excuse any delays to Bud versus the truth being made. Instead, and to Spence's credit, he trudged through PBC fighters, whichever the promotional put in front of him. He did so methodically, to the point where people really wonder if Crawford had faced enough steep challenges to be ready to defeat Spence, as Manning let the obvious eye test of Omaha, Nebraska native otherworldly boxing skills fall by the wayside. And we all know how that turned out. 3 pulverizing knockout en route to a jaw-dropping 9th round TKO, which crowned Crawford, an undisputed world champion in 2 different divisions, joining Clarissa Shields as the only boxers to accomplish that feat. This fight, as well as Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton, and even Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder trilogy before them, are all proof that proverbial wrong side of the street pothole has been cemented and paved to point that it doesn't exist. There are big fights that involve boxers from 2 different promotions. Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis comes to mind, as does Tank Davis versus Devin Haney, and Haney versus Stevenson. Let's not forget Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. And that's only naming a few, as those fights and more like them, hopefully come to fruition. May that pesky 5-word phrase never rear its ugly head again. Man, what an article. I like this article by, what's his name? Mark Leninwala. I agree, for 5 years we heard Errol Spence Jr. tell us that Terence Crawford was on the wrong side of the street. He should have never signed to Bob Arum. And the crazy thing about that, Crawford was the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter at the time. He was considered a number 1 pound-for-pound fighter because he had just been the first guy to become undisputed. And then right after becoming undisputed, he went straight for a WBO World Championship, and he won it. So he was just accomplishing goals nobody was doing in the sport of boxing. So why should a guy who's on top of the sport leave his promotional company to chase a guy who at the time only had 1 belt? You guys know Errol Spence Jr. only had 1 belt at the time when Terence Crawford became undisputed, became the WBO champion. Earl only had 1 belt. But somehow he was pushing this A-side narrative. That's before he even fought Mikey Garcia, guys. So, yes, that was an excuse to not make the fight. And I agree with this article. We need to put that wrong side of the street or different sides of the street to rest. If we can do that, we the fans may get the fights we deserve and not support fighters that says, oh, this guy's on the wrong side of the street. Because that's actually bad for boxing. But hey, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. That notification icon for more articles like these.